So here we are with the cool version of the egg in the bottle demonstration. Of course, the bottle I'm using is a round bottom flask or a Florence flask here. And what I'm going to do here is essentially make a partial vacuum. Now in the other types of egg in the bottle, what we normally do is we may lay a match in the flask, put the egg on top, let the egg snuff out the fire by eliminating the limiting reagent, which is normally going to be the oxygen. And of course it cools. And when I put the egg on, when the fire goes out, in a cooling action, of course, of the gases that remain, okay, creates a partial vacuum, and the higher atmospheric pressure pushes the egg in. This version, I'm going to add liquid nitrogen. And by the kinetic molecular theory, we know that temperature is proportionate to the kinetic energy. So by lowering the kinetic energy, or the translational motion, I should be able to lower the pressure inside the flask. So I'm going to pour some liquid nitrogen, okay, onto the flask. We see a little bit of fog as the liquid nitrogen is cooling the air so much. The liquid water, okay, or the water vapor in the atmosphere is becoming fog, little water droplets. So what I'm trying to do is pour the liquid nitrogen onto the flask. And I'm trying to, as you can see, the egg is being pushed into the bottle, all right, by the lowered temperature partial vacuum created, or the partial vacuum created, okay, by, all right, the liquid nitrogen. So there it is, egg in the bottle. So what I want to do is now I want to get that egg back out. So I'm going to hopefully not let it freeze, try to get it off the edge here. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this warm up. We created a partial vacuum by lowering the temperature of the gas in the container. And now as the gas warms, okay, in the container, the pressure inside increases. So I'm just going to put this here, and we're going to see the egg come out. You should never do an egg in the bottle without it. So again, the egg was pushed in by atmospheric pressure by making a partial vacuum in the flask, okay? And now the egg is going to be pushed out by essentially the warming of the gas inside. So as temperature increases, the pressure inside the flask increases and should be able to push this out. I'm going to increase the warming action here. Okay, this is probably safe to touch. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands to warm this, and what we're going to do is, again, as the temperature increases, the pressure inside is going to increase and push this out. All right, so it's a nice way to put the egg in and out of the bottle. Again, every egg in the bottle demo should show you how to put the egg out as well as in. And again, we forced it in by lowering the pressure, by creating a partial vacuum, by lowering the air pressure, okay, inside the flask. Now as I warm the gas, I'm hoping that enough pressure is built up, okay, inside the flask, or as I increase the temperature of the air in the flask, I'm pushing, and you can see the egg slowly making its way, okay. And again, as I put my hands on the flask, I'm increasing the temperature, or warming up the gas, and as I do so, I'm increasing the pressure, because obviously there's going to be increased number of collisions inside the flask. All right, some of my students thought this would shoot out like a rocket, okay, but it's taking its time, and all good demos sometimes require that. All right, so here it's coming out, and I'm warming it, and obviously I'm adding about 37 degrees or so degrees Celsius here to this flask, and we're pushing this egg out. All right, and at some point she'll make its way out, and that'll be the demo. So in and out of the bottle by cooling the flask to make a partial vacuum, and we normally do that by lighting a match inside and cooling it when we snuff out the fire. Here we're doing it with liquid nitrogen, so using essentially the same principles, although we don't have combustion here, we're just using temperature only. And here we come. Finally, okay, she's going to come out here, and egg in out of the bottle at some point. Keep warming it, and actually I'm trying to warm it warmer than air temperature, right? Air is about 20 degrees Celsius in here, and I'm trying to warm it to about 37. My hands It's not quite getting there, but you can see the egg at some point is gonna pop out. There we go. All right, and I did shake a little bit. So there it is, egg in and out of the bottle, a cool demonstration. Okay, one without combustion, one with liquid nitrogen.